How's it going, everybody? It's Prod here, and welcome back to another video. Today we have sort of a special one because, well, as you see in the title, it is the 5-year, and you heard that correctly, 5-year anniversary of Dark Souls 3. For the next 5 days, basically 1 day per year, I will be uploading nothing but Dark Souls 3. So, like some Adventures of the Worst Invader, a couple mod videos here and there. Just because why not, kind of like a throwback to 2016, simpler times when Dark Souls 3 had just released. But I wanted to start off the week of videos with sort of like a Q&A, basically all related to Dark Souls and Dark Souls 3. So I have a bunch of questions, but first, of course, I'm going to make a real cheesy type of thank you to Dark Souls 3, and not even obviously like directly to like Bandai or anything. It's just the game in general has done so much for me. It's basically given me my dream job, or at least helped me to kind of get into that and do what I most wanted to do, which is this, making videos, streaming. It's always what I had hoped that I wanted to do, basically since I started my channel like 11 years ago or something like that. And Dark Souls 3 was really the first time that I was ever able to kind of see a jump in viewers. And it kind of happened, sort of out of nowhere. I didn't really expect this to go anywhere. It was just another game that I was going to be uploading that I myself thought, oh, this is probably not going to do so well, because going from a Call of Duty channel for like 7 years, jumping to this random role-playing game where it's the third in the series, like I really didn't expect anything to come out of it. And then, well, here we are. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have probably anything that I have now if it wasn't for Dark Souls. Like, who knows, man? Maybe I would have played another game. Maybe it would have happened, but it did happen with Dark Souls 3, and what a great series for it to happen to. Unfortunately, I came in so late that it was like the last in the series of Dark Souls games. But I'm glad that I've been able to spend 5 years talking with all of you guys who enjoy Dark Souls, playing the game for thousands of hours at this point, and still to this day doing mods, and not only getting like a bunch of people still watching the videos, but new people every single freaking day. And every time that I do like a new mod, there's always new people finding the channel, which is so insane for a game that is 5 years, and for the most part, like a relatively small community. Like I always say that about Dark Souls, where we're not like a giant community, it's not like Overwatch, Counter-Strike, League of Legends, but I feel like the people who are like constantly watching videos are always super engaging with like YouTubers and streams and stuff like that. And it really has done so much for me. So really, a thank you to the great game that I love so much, one of my favorite in the whole series, and one of my favorite video games of all time, Dark Souls 3. But I do have some questions from all of you guys, and there's so many amazing questions from, here, let's just pick a random one from an incredibly thoughtful, and which is your favorite Miyazaki foot? You know what? I'm switching to League of Legends. Sister Frida. What attracted you to Dark Souls in the first place, and what made you love it so much? Well, honestly, the first thing that attracted me to the Dark Souls series is that they gave Dark Souls 1 out for free on Xbox Live, and I had it. And then I think I watched a DSP video, which, I mean, if you're in the Dark Souls community, he's kind of like notorious in there, but I used to watch a lot of his like regular Let's Plays way back. I'm talking like 12 years ago, like before I even started my YouTube channel. But I feel like I remember watching him play a little bit, but not really a lot, and him just like quitting and saying it was difficult. And obviously I knew about Dark Souls having this notorious reputation throughout like gaming in general that still kind of lingers, but has kind of subsided a bit, like it's not really considered, oh, Dark Souls is the hardest video game of all time. A lot of people like to think that, but it really isn't like that anymore. So then I decided to play it, and it was fun, but I was so underprepared that I could not really get through the first boss. I don't exactly know why, but I just could not kill the freaking Asylum Demon. So I ended up quitting, and then months later, I played again with a little bit more preparation, basically like just what starting class should I pick and like what weapon is good. And that's when I ended up picking a Pyromancer and finding the Drake Sword. And then I used that And then I fell in love with the game because I think the exploration and like the bit of challenge that you had there, because you know, the first playthrough if you use a Drake sword is not going to be a crazy challenge, but there is still the challenge there. You know, the game fights back. And I hadn't really experienced that in my time, to be honest, because I mainly played Call of Duty where, you know, people are annoying as shit in that game, but it's kind of like manageable. And then I just ended up falling in love with it. And then later on, obviously I played PvP for Dark Souls 2, and that's when I fell in love with PvP. Just like dueling in the Iron Keep Bridge, doing fight clubs, being summoned to fight clubs for many hours, like every day. And those times playing Dark Souls 2 was so much fun, like probably one of the best that I've ever experienced, because I was just such a noob. And it wasn't really until Dark Souls 3 where I really started getting into, okay, like these are the mechanics. I gotta be careful with my stamina. This is like outspacing. You know, I never really was into any of that when I was playing Dark Souls 2, so it was just kind of me being silly fun, spamming R1, and it worked, because hell, I'm still playing this series now. What are some of your favorite / most fun builds? Now I'm assuming this is talking about both PvE and PvP. Now when it comes to PvE, usually my builds kind of consist of quality so that I can use just about anything. And for the most part PvP as well, but like some of the most fun builds almost always involve like Lightning Blade or Dark Moon Blade or some type of buff. One of my favorite, and another question that I also got is like, what is the most underrated build or weapon? One of the most underrated build and weapons would be like Lightning Blade with a lot of faith, plus the Cestus or the Drake Blood Sword, because both of those with Lightning Blade do just absurd damage, but it is kind of specific. Like if you don't have Lightning Blade and a lot of faith, it's kind of an average weapon, average build. But anything with like some type of buff is always like super fun for me, because I usually don't do them. And it's a mixture of me like being lazy and then also being lazy. I'd rather just go in there with no type of buff. But those are probably some of my favorite and like the builds that I usually have the most fun with. If I tell you one of the bosses has a tree nut allergy, which one comes to your mind first? And yes, that was a real question I just asked, and the person who asked it, I'm talking to you directly now. What are you doing, sir, with your life to have this question pop up in your mind? But obviously it's the Great Wood. That's such a silly question just because it's so obvious, you know? Which boss took you the most attempts on your first run? Now, this one's difficult because I seriously don't remember, like at all. But the cool thing is that you guys yourself can go check, because I actually do have my first like live play. I played through the game for the first time live, you know? Well, not really on Twitch or streaming it or anything, because this was before I was streaming. Twitch.tv/lprod_. But like I recorded my first playthrough and have that full playlist up on YouTube, and I don't really remember. Now I will say that if you go watch that playlist and watch some of those videos, I'm pretty different in those videos. Like I'm more relaxed and like comfortable doing commentaries and stuff like that in videos and streams nowadays, because, you know, I have more experience. But back then, like 5 years ago, a lot of the stuff that I did when I uploaded Call of Duty videos was like montages, you know, music, and then just clips. And then a lot of these type of commentaries. I never really did like playthroughs. So for sure, it's me being a lot more tame with how I speak and stuff. But it's still funny to go back and watch those. I haven't done it in a long time, which I feel like would make for a really funny like reaction video one of these days. And there's an idea right there. So maybe I'll do that one of these days, you know? But yeah, keep in mind it is pretty reserved. And the same thing goes for the Ringed City. I did the same live playthrough of the Ringed City. I believe at that time I was already streaming. And somebody had asked me how many times did I die to the Ringed City Angels pre-patch, and so many times. That I remember them being ridiculous before they got patched. Which you can watch all of that, and I highly suggest watching at least that video, because it's pretty hilarious how strong those stupid ass angels were. Although I feel like, you know, they should have never been patched. Which friendly NPC do you think you've killed the most? Man, I don't know. I just don't know. What is your favorite Dark Souls 3 playthrough / mod that you have done? Now, while in the future I do want to release like a full-on video talking about all my favorite mods, not necessarily, I don't think in a specific order, but like just in general, like my top 10 favorite Dark Souls 3 mods. I for sure will do that in the future. But for my favorite mod slash playthrough, the thing that comes to my head right now is the first Cinders playthrough that I did. I just remember that being incredibly fun and like seeing the potential that it had on YouTube and like view wise. And if it wasn't for mods in general, mods have been the main focus of my channel for like the last year, and I love doing it. And if it wasn't for like the Cinders mod and some of those early Dark Souls 3 mods that I did, a lot of you guys probably would have never found my channel, because I know so many people have found the videos and the channel through the mods, which is freaking amazing. But I would have to say Cinders at the moment is probably my favorite mod, and maybe also my favorite Dark Souls 3 playthrough. Who is your least favorite boss that you dread fighting? Gravity doesn't count. Damn it, I was gonna answer Gravity. You know what's a weird boss that always gives me a lot of issues? The freaking Dancer. I don't know why, but like every time I go play a new mod, or if I do a new playthrough, the freaking Dancer always like gets me. It's not like Medir or the Soul of Cinder. It's the freaking Dancer. And you know what it is? I'm pretty sure like her timing is weird, which is a weird statement, but you know what I mean? Like she has a specific different timing that they made for her because she's a dancer, and like the music has something to do with the timing and when she attacks, but it's not the regular time signature that you see for other bosses. It's different, so it kind of throws me off, and I always mess up a lot when I fight her. So I'd probably say her. Do you think we will ever see a 4th Dark Souls? Now, man, they've said that they're not going to be releasing another Dark Souls, and that was from Software too. They're like, we're not making Dark Souls anymore. If another Dark Souls comes out, it's not going to be made by us. And that's the thing right there. I can see a Dark Souls 4 coming out in the future and them trying to like milk the game further without From Software. Now, if From Software comes back and does another Dark Souls, I wouldn't consider it milking. I would consider it them coming back to this series that they maybe feel like they have more to tell, but they've said themselves that like, we finished the story. Gale is the end. That is where it ends. That is where time ends. That is where it ends up. So we're not making any more. But I can see Bandai Namco hiring a different studio and releasing Dark Souls 4. Maybe. Yeah. You know what? I think we'll see another Dark Souls one of these days. But sadly, I don't think it'll be made by From Software. So there's that. And I'm kind of curious, would you guys still play that? I feel like I would play it no matter what, just to kind of check it out, but it obviously wouldn't be the same without From Software. Like 100% it wouldn't be, but I would still check it out. I broke my TV once in PvP because of my friend's assholeness and my internet. You ever do something like this? And I wanted to answer that question because the word assholeness made me laugh when I read it. I don't think I've ever heard the word assholeness be used. But surprisingly, no, I have never broken my TV. I feel like I always will get like 99% of the way there and be like, this is not worth it. This is going to cost too much money to repair and get a new TV. Stop now. Like my brain, I don't know why my brain is able to stop that point when I'm playing like a Souls game. Like I don't really get angry, and I don't know why. Like I feel like I have way more patience with the Souls series. I've never broken a controller either. Like I've never smashed the controller. I've wanted to so bad. I've lifted up my controller again to that 99% point and be like, if you lose this controller, you're gonna have to order another one and it's gonna take multiple days to come here, so don't do it. And then I stop myself. But no, I've never broken a TV because of Dark Souls PvP. How come you haven't done an out of context saying montage videos yet? Now this is not exactly related to Dark Souls specifically, but a lot of people always ask me this question, and honestly it's not because I don't want to make one, because I feel like it would be awesome to have one on the channel. I just don't know where they all are. I don't know which videos have out of context sayings, you know? If somebody ever wants to go forward and like look through, and there's so many, so I suggest you don't. There's so many videos to look for the few with out of context sayings, which is like one in every couple dozen, couple hundred maybe, would be just way too difficult to do. How many hours do you have in Dark Souls 3 alone? And this is another one that comes up a lot, and I really don't know, and I do wish I knew, because the hours are split up so much. I did literally through Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation 4, And also on PlayStation 4, I've reset my save multiple times using a flash drive. So whenever you do that, the time actually does get reset. So I don't really know. It's probably up around pretty close to 2,000 hours, I'd imagine, somewhere around there. So a lot, but not as much as probably a lot of you guys have. Which one do you enjoy more, PvP or PvE? If you'd have asked me this, 4 years ago, 3 years ago even, I would have easily said PvP without a doubt. But the PvE side with mods is such a eye-widening experience for me when it comes to PvE. PvE back in the day for me was just something that I had to get through as quickly as I can to make a new PvP build. But with mods expanding on the game and so much of the cut content that was in the game, at the moment I would probably say PvE, but it kind of fluctuates here and there. I've played so much PvP, I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm burnt out on it, but I feel like I've done just about everything that I can do. While on PvE, there's just so much more that I could play, so much more that I could still upload for that, and it's only getting better, man. Like, modders are getting better. What they do with some of these mods is just so ridiculous. Like some of the stuff in the Convergence mod, which is like the newest Dark Souls 3 mod I've been playing and uploading, and I've played like a dozen mods over the past year. So they're only getting better, man. How did you get to know and collaborate with the other Souls tubers? Now, I've only really done a few videos with like, Chase, Lost, and Fighter. They're pretty much like the only ones that I've done videos with. And like, if you don't count Among Us, when I played with like Lobos and Sunlight Blade. But like I said, man, the community for Dark Souls is not really huge. So I've gotten to know a fair amount of like the PvP YouTubers and stuff. And they're almost always really cool guys, really cool girls, always really nice. And it just did kind of turn out that, I ended up becoming good friends with like Fighter, Lost, and Chase, and we often do like runs or play different games together. Maybe they would agree that like playing other games is almost always more fun though, because all four of us have played so much Dark Souls, and even now still do play a lot of Dark Souls. So whenever we get on to play, the Forest or something like that, which we haven't done in a while, which we need to do again, is always like just such a breath of fresh air. And I feel like you guys really enjoy it, at least, the people who do watch it. Which does kind of tie into another question that I did get asked. What do you see for the future of your channel? Do you think that Dark Souls 3 will run out of content for you to use? If so, do you think you'll branch out to other games/genres? So first of all, do I think Dark Souls 3 is going to run out of content? Probably not anytime soon. Like I said, man, just the mods are getting better. In the future, we'll have Elden Ring and more From Software games, which is of course like the main focus of my channel. And when it comes to other games, I mean, I do play quite a lot of new games, especially over on Twitch. I do stream, like I've been streaming a Yakuza playthrough. We recently did some Nautical 1, currently doing Below Zero. We did a playthrough Resident Evil 7, which by the way on YouTube was like huge for me. Like almost every part has over 100,000 views, which is kind of insane for my channel. Well, I shouldn't say kind of insane, really insane, especially for a game that's not Dark Souls. So for sure, I'll always play other games. I'm a big fan of doing like Let's Plays and gameplay videos like that. So yeah, I'll always be playing new games, new genres, while also simultaneously doing Dark Souls 3, because that's my bread and butter and I still love it. And for the final question, do you think Dark Souls 3 was a good finale for the Dark Souls series? And I think it absolutely is. Like the Gale fight in the Ringed City, and the Ringed City as a whole with Midir having some of the best bosses, I think I'll always remember that Gale fight. It's just so freaking cool to imagine it's just you two at literally the end of time. Buildings have turned to dust, to sand. It's been such a long time, and it's just you two fighting for nobody. Nobody's gonna know that you're fighting there. And that is where the series ends, that's where it's going to come to. And I think it's just such a cool, fitting ending, and I love that ending. I do think that it was at the best of the combat when it comes to a nice mixture of the speed of Bloodborne and like the mechanics of Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 without any of the clunkiness of Dark Souls 2. And when it comes to the PvP, still having an active community clearly shows that it was one of the best, if not the best, in my opinion, when it comes to both balancing and having like a nice variety of stuff to use, even though everybody, on the game just kind of uses the same thing. For somebody like me, I use everything. So it's been great, and you will for sure continue to see me fight Gale many times over when I'm doing stuff like mods, and even just fun runs with viewers and stuff. But that is going to be it for this Q&A video, this commentary. Always a good time doing this. And again, happy 5-year anniversary. You know, for those of you guys who have been around from the beginning, which I'm sure there are a few of you, and to even the new people who just showed up a couple days ago. Thank you for watching the channel, for supporting the channel. It really does mean the world to me, and I appreciate you guys very, very freaking much. And if you guys made it this far, maybe consider dropping a like. Thank you guys so much if you do so. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace, everybody.